Well, hello. I hope you guys can hear me. Sorry about that. Hey, Box of Paint, hi. Hello. How have you been? Oh wait, I'm no longer muted. I should remove that. That's better. It was summery today, so went for the brighter colors. But really curious about number cat. I'm probably gonna do all of them. So if we do number 2 today, well, number 4 is gonna be the one for next week. Unless there's a consensus that people are fed up with the triads, but yeah. We're doing good. Cats have finally stopped fighting officially. Oh, why were they fighting? That piece black is almost gone. Oh my gosh. That sounds so hardcore. Cats are fighting. Hubby has a black eye. Like, ee. Bear jumped out the upstairs window in the middle of the night and then spent a few hours outside. Hubby got up and Amy was growling at the back door. Oh my gosh. Big drama. He thought it was a fox and opened it to shoo it away, and Bear came running in. Amy pounced on him. Hubby tried to break up the fight and Amy kicked his butt. She's a feisty little one. Definitely a tricolor cat. Oh my gosh. Bear is 100% okay. Landing on squishy... Okay, good. Whew. But scared the business out of me. Yeah, I mean, obviously. Cats have a generally very dubious sense of survival. So I take it that the windows in the UK don't generally have screens or something like that. She sort of matrixed him, jumped on hubby, and clawed his face. Oh, dude, ouch! His face and chest, and then slashed his hands. Why? Poor hubby! He didn't have anything to do with this. Oh, man. Shows that trying to play a peacekeeper doesn't always turn out right. Fitz says because Bear was likely freaked out, he was releasing hormones that made Emmy... Oh, really? Whoa. Do you get them treated for like fleas and, you know, other little parasites that they can get from being outside? The windows push out, so Bear pushed open the cracked window and then flying squirreled. Oh no. So yeah, no screen door then. I always find that really, really odd when I see like houses in different countries but that have zero screen on the windows. Same thing happened in reverse when she had dental work done and Bear was like, intruder. Well, that happens regularly when one cat goes to the vet and the other doesn't. So no more open windows or fresh air. Not unless you can block them somehow and like make them bear proof. But yeah, when one cat goes to the vet and then comes home, not only do they smell different, but they also smell of the place that all the cats, most of the cats hate. So it's like a double whammy of unpleasantness. Hey, Lyra, hi! I spent a fortune on plugins and spray. Oh yeah, Fellaway, yeah. I've heard about it. It's often used when by rescues when they deal with particularly difficult cats. It's supposed to mellow them out, like pheromones or something. The only good thing is that Bear... Wait. He's a good boy. A silly one. A reckless one. A fluffy one. It wasn't good but adorable seeing Emmy do the... Oh man. No. Yeah, when they're not happy. But Emmy I mean, is she still tiny? I guess it was good that I was the only one she didn't beat up. Aww. I know she's smaller than Bear, but is she still a really teeny tiny cat? My gorgeous tiny terror. Oh man. Hey Melissa, hello. I'm gonna keep the poll on for about 3 minutes still. But it looks like triad number 2 is the winner. Did some butter. Oh no! Why was surgery needed? After getting fixed, she's a bit rounder but still tiny. Oh, that's adorable. When, you know, a cat is a small frame but has a teeny tiny bit of That chunk. It's hard to believe she had Bear. I know he was much smaller when she had him, but still, he grew up to be a really much bigger cat. I got a bite from Scout the other night. I don't know if you'll be able to see, it's just here. She's not chunky, just extra floofy. Aww. That's even better. Hey, Lena! But yeah, so we were sleeping, and she comes near our pillows to wake us up so we give her food, because she's the worst cat. And I was half asleep, and I sort of just pushed her off, and she decided to bite me. I'm not sure just how intentional it was, but I ended up with a really annoying scratch here, because it's you know, it's always like it's never healing well because it's always moving. It's just really annoying. Pain in the butt cat. Out of the 4, Bear is the second smallest. Whoa. Dude, the dad must have been huge. Because they didn't get it from Emmy. The plush cat got a trip in the washing machine. That was the Wormy's cat. Oh! Oh, makes sense. Alright, I'm gonna go check out the poll, switch cameras. You'll have to tell me when I switch if the audio still works. But just give me a sec. Emmy still looks like a teenage kitty. Aw. You know what? We might be due for some Emmy pics in the Discord. If you have pics and if you have the time and the willingness to indulge us with Miss Emmy and her burger. All right. Hopefully that worked out. But Willy is a huge baby. Is he the, you know, the stereotypical orange cat? Willy is such a fun name for a cat. I love it. It was one of the cutest gifts. Like, aw. Aw, that's lovely. Mm. Oh, sorry for the sipping noises. So our winning Triad is still Roman Schmal. It is Anthraquinone yellow, Potter's pink, and Cobalt blue light. I'll set up to find the pans. And yeah, transfer the info. Bear is chocolate gray and black depending on the light. Binks is solid black, but exactly Emmy size. Oh, a teeny tiny. And Cookie is black and white and he's solo. Willie Nelson because he's a ginger. Oh my gosh. That's a musician, right? We're gonna need this. Now I don't remember where these are or what they came, like, did they came with the original release or subsequent releases? I'm missing. Why is my Anthraquinone yellow missing? Where's my curse? Why are these missing? Where did I put them? Did I just put them in there? I shouldn't be missing ones. November, what did I do with these? Okay, so I found Cobalt Blue Light, so that's one. I know what this pink is. I'm just bothered because I'm usually somewhat organized, but now I don't know where I put the pens. I don't remember. They're just so weird. I put them here. Why? Why are these in here? I can't remember what I was doing with them. That's okay. Well, I found my yellow. What's this one? Oh, this one is that one. I'm confused. I must have been doing something. You know? Go figure what, though. Hey, Josephine, hi. Right, I'm gonna put these back in here because I can't remember why I took them out. What was I doing with these? Mystery for the ages. Okay, and Potter's Pink is in here. Here we go. I'll put the other ones back with the where they belong. I think there's one that's from this set here. That looks nice. Is it? It is. I haven't labeled these, which is really an oversight. Missing one here too. Which one is it? Transparent brown. What's this one? What was I painting with these? Yeah. Perhaps that's from previous triads, but there was no green in my triads. I don't know. Who knows? Can't wait to see them. Yeah, me too. I'm quite excited. It was really fun to try and think of triads that would yield unusual results. Alright, so let's settle this back. And it's yellow, pink, blue. Just gonna transfer the info. Hopefully these three are in the chart. Not sure about the nth yellow. It should, right? Yeah, it should. Well, well, it's not. Potter's pink should be in here. Yeah, found it. Some Emmy photo. Oh, I can't wait to look at them. One day I will figure out how to get a really good pic of her eyes. Oh, dude. But she knows. I swear, they can feel it. And then they just go like, no. You're like, ah, but you were doing such a cute thing. Into belly up. Oh, dude. I don't know if you're like that with your cat, but when they do something really cute that you want to take a picture of, like you take your phone out super quickly and you just, you know, grab a picture, just the first picture, not caring about the framing and the proximity, the zoom, all that, just to at least have one, you know. And then if the cat holds the pose, you can sort of get a better one. But at least you got one. You know what I mean? Cobalt blue light. Oh, is this one not in here either? Oh, shoot. Right. In person, they look like sun on a swimming pool. Oh, dude. There are these ripples of color that is super hard to capture. That sounds beautiful. But I definitely see what made my mom fall in love with her. Plus, she's mostly a sweetheart. Mostly. I'm laughing so much because I know exactly what you mean. Oh, that's great. Unless she beats up half the family. I mean, it's their fault. They scared her. I guess. That's PY147. Oops. PY147. Alright. Hey, Amy, you didn't miss much. Just a vote. But Triad number 2 won with a significant majority of votes. I mean, she could have been pitiful with Bear who got lost outside in the cold. She's a tricolor cat. She can't. They're feisty. Hubby is usually her favorite human as well, but God, I missed her. She must have been so bothered. Must have been really unsettling. She was mad at Bear for getting an adventure. You know, perhaps she was just really mad at him because he jumped outside. And has his mom, she was like, you could have hurt yourself. So since you didn't, I'm gonna hurt you. Wait a minute. First swatch is the yellow. It's a really interesting sort of warm yellow. I think it's fairly transparent. But it's not a very common pigment, so there's got to be something. My guess would be that it's maybe not very light fast, and that's why we don't see it often in paint ranges. There's a huge black cat hair stuck in my masking fluid. Oh, I got it. I genuinely thought the kids next door were fighting until... Oh, poor guy. How bad were the scratches? I should have pre-wet that one though. Sorry, but I think it's funny. Alright, pink. Technically the red is Potter's pink. Oh, Amy also shattered our scaled. She kicked it and slammed into the sink. A scale, you mean like for weighing yourself? Oh my god, she has such a temperamental character. She's so funny. She left 4 marks on his... Oh, ouch! 1 foot worth on his chest, and his hands were bad. Oh, dude, ow. It's probably evil of me, but I would have really liked to have seen footage of the vibe. Yeah, definitely. Okay, yeah, weighing yourself scale. Okay. She knew those things are evil. She was like, here, dads, I'm gonna help you guys. You don't need this. Less diet, more snacking. More kibble! More kibble! Do you weigh her on the same scale? Oh. Wait, what? Oh. Okay. Well, that was weird. Sorry about that. Alright. Yeah, I should have, I guess I'm a bit distracted today. I forgot to transfer the swatches to the wheel. She liked to sit on it when you were in the shower and it would turn on, but she's not enough to register. Oh, yeah. What we kind of have to do if you want to weigh the cats is you have to sort of weigh yourself and then you weigh yourself again, but with the cats. But holding one of the cat, the one you want to weigh. But even then, sometimes I feel like the digital scales are weird sometimes. It's like they don't want to... If you weigh something that is too close to the first weigh, they will just sort of make it the same number. They're not very precise, I guess, is my point. So what have you guys been up to today? Lana, you said you just came back home earlier. Were you taking a walk with Dante? It's going to be difficult to find a good sort of middle between these two because the pink is a much weaker tinting strength than the yellow. And it's always a bit more difficult to balance out. Sorry. It is so much weaker than the yellow. It's making this difficult. It's like you try to get a bit more color in there and it just doesn't show at all. No, I was on a big Urban Sketchers meeting. Oh, wow! That's so cool! That's a lot of people! We used to weigh our kitty with the luggage wings. My hubby would just leave a plastic bag on the floor and she would go in, oh, that's adorable! Cats in plastic bags. A medieval castle. Oh, dude, that sounds really cool. I was about to throw a small house party, but my guest can't. Oh, I mean, at least you've been using the day efficiently, I guess. Oh, did you play a bit with the mini palette? Why is this getting cold so quickly? Ah, crap. I'm gonna close the blinds and open up the light. Give me a sec. It's a very dark and gloomy day today. I did 4 sketches, 3 on the meeting and 1 later when I went out with my partner, and there was a medieval... I'm so bothered that Canada is so young comparatively and quote-unquote so ugly. One of the ladies on the Urban Sketcher meetings recognized me from... Oh, that's cool. I hope you had a... I hope they were a nice person. For such a small thing, it has a pretty nice range of colors. Yeah, the yellow that's included, I'm really curious to see it in action because it's a very orangey yellow, right? But orangey muted, not orangey super bright. So it's a really interesting selection of colors, and I'm really excited to test it out. Did you recognize her? Not at all. Oops. But I thought I knew another lady, but she didn't know me. What was the group of people like? Was it like people of all ages? Was it a lot of dudes, a lot of ladies? What kind of demographics were there? $150 people. That's so many people. The yellow is very Azo-like. It looks more orange on the box than on the swatch. Okay, good to know. It's their new Nickel Azo Gold, right? It was very mixed. I feel most were between late 20s and 70, and from all over Germany. Ooh, and some came from the Netherlands. Whoa, it was a big thing. Wow. I think I've said before, but it took hubby over 20 years to get that when I would introduce him to people that recognize me. It was so he would... Help me! Help! You were too sneaky. Yeah, 380. It's the one from the latest release. Oh, I'm so excited. This is so much fun. So far, I think the mixes with the Cobalt Blue and the Potter's Pink are gonna be really cool. Oh. What happens when you do it on the wrong side of the mix? Yuck. Paper towel is gross. Was it all watercolorists, Lana, or were there people with different mediums there? Annabelle still don't know. Oh my gosh, I hate that. I hate when that happens. You're like, I'm terrible at recognizing people and remembering names too, so I get it. And also, when I'm in public and I know I'm not gonna go meet up with people, I tend to be really in my head and sort of zone out. So it has happened more than once that someone I know would like be in my face and I just would not register that there's someone in front of me. Otto! Hey! Hello! How are you? How's your weekend? Most had watercolors, some had pencil or ink brush pen. Ooh, dude, that's a good number of watercolorists all in the same spot. I love that. Same if I don't realize nothing that happens. Seriously, like I'll be so focused on like, okay, it happens often like in places like shopping malls or when I'm doing errands, but it's like, okay, I have to go to that store for this, I have to go to that store for that. This is the way to, and I'm just focused on my plan. And it was funny once because I did that and I absolutely did not notice. And then when I met up with the person later on, they were all like, well, so you're pretty distracted when you go shopping? And I was like, what? And you're like, yeah, you were at so-and-so shopping mall. I was like, yeah. And I saw you and I waved in your face and you did not even react. And I was like, oh, yep, that happens. Yeah. I was focused on my thing. Like, if I expect to meet people I know, I will pay attention. But if I'm not, forget it. I sat next to another painting lady for almost 1 hour sketching before I realized she was from the... I'm being messages but got Atoll Blue. Oh, Atoll Blue. I kind of want it really bad, but I can't really get it right now. But I'm like, ah. So I gotta keep reminding myself that I have those two separate paints in my Roman Schmal collection. So if I really need something in the, ballpark of Atoll Blue, I can mix it myself somewhat. But yeah, to be honest, it's kind of difficult to just keep that in mind and be like, no. Calm down. Also, I'm kind of bothered that it's still a limited edition color, and I feel like I don't want to get too attached to it before they decide if they want to keep it permanently or not. You know what I mean? Like if they do like they did with the super granulating colors and make it a permanent color within the Schminke range, I'm gonna feel a whole lot better about, getting it. And it's not because I feel like supplies are precious, it's because I know that I'll be so bummed out when I run out. Because I want to use it. I don't want to look at it. I want to use it. But if I know that it's limited and I'm going to run out, it's like, ugh. But I'm going to get used to this color and to the mixes I can make with it and how I like to use it. And then it's going to be gone. And that's just not, efficient or fun. Why don't you mix like a half pound of it so you have easy access to it? Because it's 2 Roman Schmal paints in pans. It's not tubes, so I can't just as much mix it myself. And I don't think, like the 2 paints I have, it's mostly Holbein, and I don't think I have the Cobalt pigment. I don't think Holbein has it. I'm pretty sure I have an old tube of marine blue that is still PB16. But, yeah. I kind of block out the expensive brands from my periphery now, so I do not wind up buying more paints. I kind of focus... Ed? What does Ed mean? On Roman Schmal. Yeah, same. I feel like it's just a... It's much more efficient, but at the same time, and understandably, but the Roman Schmal paints, they kind of keep slowly climbing in price. So I always have that in the back of my head. Like, it's not a real worry at the moment, because I have a lot of paint. I have enough paint, but it kind of hurts when you consider, like, say there's a sale and you're like, ooh, should I possibly stock up on some of my favorite colors? And you look at the price and it's still $10 for a full pan, and you're like, oh, it's more affordable than a lot, but it's still expensive, you know. I know it has Cobalt turquoise in the mix, but it did all sorts of fun blooming and granulating stuff on my ATC cards. I'll always do the big switch. Yeah, it's PB16, so you have that transparent, completely smooth phthalo turquoise pigment in there. And then the Cobalt turquoise is the tealy color that brings in all the texture. It's so beautiful. All right, let's try to mix some sort of neutral with these. It's going to be hard because the Potter's Pink is a very low tinting strength in general. It's really hard to see what the color is like. Sketches and Scrubs, hello! It's nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Gotta grab a slightly bigger brush, I think. Which triads are dueling? They were dueling in the beginning of the stream. I had 2 remaining triads, like random color triads that I put together. And yeah, there was a vote at the beginning of the stream to select the Triad that I'm gonna be swatching. I agree. These are pretty amazing. I think you can see it somewhat on the camera, the way the Potter's Pink really settles quickly. It's really interesting. I'm gonna be doing the palette mixes. Yeah, it's really interesting. You can really see how the Potter's Pink behaves like super quickly in the mix, like it settles down right away. I love Potter's Pink as well. It's really interesting how they're all different. Like every brand's Potter's Pink is really different. Hey, Joanne, hi. Hello. Hey from Niagara Falls, sorry for being late. Oh, no worries. This is meant to be a very chilled, casual stream, so... My current favorite is Memory, quite rich and dark. I've swatched Winsor Newton's, Schminkas, and Roman Schmalz lately, and they're all fairly different. I only got to play around with the new colors a little bit, but I'm really glad you used your influencer abilities and got me to buy it. It really is like a tube of concentrated sky. Well, the bad side of influencing, I got that. We just pass it around. I'm just on the fence. Like there was the sale at Jackson's recently, and they were like $16 per tube, and I'm like, that's not entirely too bad, but... And then my brain goes like, that's still $16 for a single tube of paint. And I'm like, why? But I think it's my favorite release of the Schmincke special colors. For real, your videos are so dangerous. You should... Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even want one of the small women's palette, and now I think about them every video. Oh, I talk a bit about them in tomorrow's video. I was thinking that about M. Graham. I'm tempted to try them, but they are £18 for two. Yeah, if you are in the UK, M. Graham is gonna be so very expensive. I don't think it's gonna get any better, especially with the tariffs, but... Yeah. Perhaps the only redeeming thing, or perhaps the only thing you can sort of tell yourself if you are not based in the US and you want to try US brands, M. Graham, they have beautiful colors, but they don't have anything completely unique, if you know what I mean. They're pretty conservative in their color selection within their watercolor range. All the colors are beautiful, really beautiful, beautiful paints, but you're not really missing out on something completely unique. Does that make sense? Hey, Sarah. Hi. Hello, hello. I feel like from an not in the US perspective, perhaps a brand like Da Vinci, you feel like you're missing out a bit more because they have some pretty unique mixes in there. But with M. Graham, like, they are great paints, absolutely, but they're not something that you will not find a good equivalent or something similar overseas. But with my new urban sketching hobby, I can justify another tiny bag. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. M. Graham is weird. Some colors are gorgeous, but some have weird flocculation issues and some smell bad. I had one that smelled a bit weird, but I've had smelly paints from Daniel Smith as well, so I wouldn't hold it against them. Paint should never be stinky in odor. Yeah, I know, but question: have you ever had issues with Roman Schmal watercolors? An example of the binder drying up. I've had issues with this, especially with the... No, actually, I haven't had any issues. I'm using his Potter's Pink right now, and really not really an issue. £20 for 15 ml still sounds good. That's a lot of money. Dude, £20. Like, if you convert that to Australian dollars, that's almost, what, 1.5, 2 times the price. Like $30 for 15 ml. Oh, that's expensive. Thank you, you're right. But I totally understand what you mean, because yeah, there are some paints, like sometimes I see paints, example, the Holbein granulating colors. They're really not accessible to me at the moment, but I mean, not really. And it's just, it's annoying. It's really annoying. Alright, sorry, that was a tea break. I had to drink a bit more of my very lukewarm tea. When you kind of get those fear of missing out moments, sketches and scrubs, a thing that can help is to go through your colors and to get reacquainted with some of your favorite ones, or to swatch some you haven't used a lot. Because sometimes it can sort of fulfill that space of wanting something new and being stuck on something that is inaccessible. Does that make sense? It's rich in my blood. Yeah, that's kind of pricey. Core is £15. Yeah, but again, Core is from the US. Like, you don't want to know the price of schminke in North America. Ooh, that's not a pretty one. That's... Ooh. 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 Ouch. But they're so fun and vivid and move. Which one, the Core or the M. Graham ones? I've been wanting to get the Holbein granulating set for a while now. Should be relatively easy for you to get, Amy, though, because of geography. I usually have to organize my studio. By the end of it, the feeling is gone. Oh, that's also a good, productive way of dealing with this. I got the Holbein granulating set on eBay every so often. Yeah, and I think they kind of have to write Holbein wrong to get them to bypass the trade issues, but I don't know. But still, it's kind of expensive, and like Holbein in Japan is really affordable. So it's just difficult to justify. Like, I know it's gonna be beautiful and pretty and whatnot. Same for the schminke colors. But oh, dude, it's hard to justify it sometimes because you're like, ooh, that's a lot of money. The only way I could justify Core was finding a 12 pen set on sale, and they are lovely apart from the green, which came with flecks of all the colors. And after almost 2 years, it still looks more brown. Well, did you write? You could write to Golden, and they would probably send you a new one. And I've been trying to save for them. 158. Oh, yeah, that's pricey. But I thought you would maybe have them open stock available to you. Or from perhaps Amazon Japan. Current Fun Move. And they're great. They're beautiful colors, really. Tim Graham, I haven't tried. They're beautiful, but they're not necessarily something completely unheard of. In the sense that if you live in the US or live somewhere that you have access to M. Graham for a decent price, they are definitely worth considering. But if you don't, it's okay. You'll find other paints that are, really good. US is it's not gonna be easy for the next 4 years. I feel the same way about the new Chroma Holbein. They are like £3 in Japan, and yeah, it's just ouch. With this paint, I've noticed the binder seems to literally evaporate. I don't have that issue at all, and I have a significant collection by now. That's weird. But I work with Japan. Sun Market. Yeah. Hi. Well, hello from Montreal. Hey, Cyan. Yeah, more triads. I hope you guys are not too bored with them. I've been doing a lot of mixing and kind of learning or finding out really interesting stuff doing so. I get my Holbein paints from a Japanese. Yeah, that's probably for the best. You probably get the best price possible in the circumstances this way. I understand. That makes sense. It is not for buttons or anything. I don't recommend it for those in the USA. Really expensive. But okay, not better. Yeah. Oh, it's so pricey here. Winsor & Newton. That's so... Sorry, I was slightly late for feeding the cats and they were freaking out. Oh no! Not that bothered by the bad green as much as I love greens. Yeah, and I think if it's the core travel palette, you have a lot of beautiful blues and grays, blues and yellows, and ways to mix such pretty greens in there. The paint will literally soak up the water in 5 minutes. I have to add more water. I've spoken to them further. I've never really had that issue. Ah, that's so weird. I'll definitely keep an eye on it though. But yeah, I haven't run into this. And I'm not in a very different climate from you. So I don't know what's up with that. Like, I don't know if you can see, but I put some... No, you can see I'm not in screen. I put some water in my Potter's Pink, and it does the thing that Potter's Pink always do, of looking really milky on top, but it hasn't absorbed in at all. It's still, like, perfectly fine. Yeah, I've never really had that issue. Some of them tend to be sticky even. Like I have a few that are a bit drier, that's just the pigment itself. But I've never had that issue. It's a bit like, you know, when sized paper goes bad, it's kind of the equivalent in paint form. That's so weird. Where did you get them from, Joanne? Turner's yellow and Ethel blue made a surprisingly muted set of green, and I expected it to make almost neon. Isn't Turner's yellow really opaque though? That must be why it muted it down so much. Yeah, Gagas, I agree. Although they're still one of the most affordable, but it's like there's not any really affordable professional brands right now, except perhaps Rosa Gallery. Yeah, I have a very similar experience to what Amy and Sketches and Scrub are sharing regarding the Roman Schmal paints. So that's really peculiar. Is there any more people? I've never heard anybody complain about that. Yeah, is it color specific? Turner's yellow is very opaque, but it's bright. The mixes were more like. Yeah, but the fact that it's opaque, it's gonna really eat up a lot of the vibrancy of the color in the mix. Yeah, I missed the day when Roman Schmal were £3 for full pens. Ah, those were the days. They're still, you know, pretty affordable. Like I can't say the price in another currency, but the recent sale at Jackson's that was on all watercolors, the series 1 from Roman Schmal were like 6 or 7 Canadian dollars for a full pan, which is, you know, decent. But like if you want fancier colors that are not series 1, probably gonna have to pay like $10-11. And it's not, the price itself doesn't bother me as much. It's just that it adds on so fast. Like you spend $50 and you have between 4 and I don't know, 8 colors. It's just, oh, it hurts. Like you leave the store with your wallet significantly lighter and a teeny tiny bag of like 8 full pens. Like, oh, it's so expensive to be an artist. The good old days. £2.70 for, oh. $5 Australian for Series 1. That's such a good price. That's cheaper than what I can find here. Because I think the Canadian dollar is just a little bit stronger than the Australian dollar. So if you can find them for $5 Australian, that's amazing. The prices were wild. First time I heard of them, I didn't buy the Roman Schmals. I thought they must be still. When the price is so low that you start having doubts. Oh, you purchased them from Amazon. Joanne, there's a consideration that you might have gotten dupes. I would be perhaps a bit wary of stuff on Amazon, truly. I did a whole video about the rewettability of Roman schmal paints after watching Paint in Hiding's video about rewettability and Roman schmal. And yeah. I'm gonna have to blow my nose, so just give me a sec. Oh, I'm so sorry. I would be excessively wary of buying stuff on Amazon, Temu, AliExpress, everything that's supposed to be a specific brand. Because it is where they will try to push counterfeit items for a really good price. Or, worst case scenario, for the same price as the real thing, but it's not the real thing. Yeah, I try to be really picky when I order art supplies from something that is not an actual art supply store. Like, there are things that I feel are pretty safe. Like, if you need a box of Sharpie pens, you can probably get them from Amazon. That's going to be okay. But for anything more specific, it's too difficult to really gauge if you're getting the real thing or not. Oh, thank you so much for putting the link, Lana. Yeah. Lana has shared the link in the chat. And yeah, I was watching Paint in Hiding's video where she shows that some of her colors, if you just take the pan, take a brush, wet the brush, try to pick up some paint and paint right away, the color payoff is weaker than if you put a bit of water in your pan and you wait for a bit. I find them to be really easy to rewet, sometimes sticky. I'm in the UK, not humid. The earth colors are drier than others. Yeah, exactly. Same. And it's the nature of some pigments to dry drier than others. Like most earth pigments will do that. Then you have a couple of odd ones, like ultramarine blue tends to be dry too, but not sponge level of dry. I added some glycerin. I had to add it a couple of times, but it seemed... Did you do a... Joanne, did you do a swatch? Then you let it dry, and then you take a paper tissue and you try to see if some of the pigment lifts up. My Roman schmal in the dry summer weather here are still very strong. The video you made have made me very curious, so I tested out the same colors, but they were fine. Yeah! Yeah, I was like, I didn't have any preconceived opinion of how my test was going to turn out, but it turned out to be exactly what I thought it was going to be, because that's the nature of gum arabic. It's dry. It's a resin. It's a gum that is solid and that dries, but it is rewettable, so technically, watercolor paints, if they're made with gum arabic, you add water and they come back to life, mostly. Sometimes the type of pigment will be the issue, but as a general concept, it is made to be rewettable. It's okay, it was a long time ago, but it does happen. Yeah, I've heard, I think possibly Lindsay the Frugal Crafter maybe has some videos about counterfeit on Amazon too. That would suck if that... It would really suck, honestly. And it can ruin your perception of great brands. Yeah, absolutely. Making earth pigment paints is a nightmare. Depends on which one, though. Because oftentimes they're really easy to mold, but they dry like butt. Sorry. I've also noticed that... Oh, that's peculiar. That best for wetting. In what sense? For me, it is like that. Rosa Gallery has spoiled me. They're really sticky. Rosa Gallery. Rosa is a living wonder. Moves like core, but has no aquazole. Rewets like it has honey. It doesn't have honey. Interesting. They dry like mud in the sun. Yep. That's a perfect descriptive. Liz, hi. Hello. Ugh, cold tea. Ugh. PBR7 just wants to shrink and crack. Yeah. But it's so pretty though. And you can have it like granule tea and stuff. Ugh. Ugh, sorry. Ugh. 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 The bottom dredge of a cold black tea. That's a kick in the face. No honey in Rosa. Every time I paint with them, I recheck. But apparently it doesn't. I wonder how they get them to stay so sticky then. Oh, you got them! Oh, I feel like it's spoiler for tomorrow's video, but I talk about the new Rosa color in tomorrow's video. And even during the premiere yesterday, I checked again. Oh, I'll have to check that out. I'm obsessed with one of the colors. That green quartz color. Oh my gosh. It is insane. I worry that if I get it, all I'm gonna do is do like full pages swatch and just stare at them as the paint dries. It's that pretty. It is so beautiful. Yes, I did do that test and it completely rubbed off on the page covering it, my swatchbook. Oh, well, I mean, in that case, I really feel like you probably got dupes. Especially, like, if they were a really, really good price, that's even more suspicious. I'm so sorry you ended up with terrible paints. It's such a disappointment. Like, you think you're gonna get something nice and you have absolutely no reason to really doubt it, but then it turns out it's poop. Ugh. I got 9 out of 10 colors, not the royal blue. Why not? And it felt and looked like painting chalk. Yeah, okay, that's really weird. I may have got a fake 48 half-pan set of Rembrandt recently for Amazon. It looks really nice legit, but paints are very hard to re-wet. They don't move at all. No swatch card or info pamphlet. Ooh, that's suspicious. Yeah. Yeah, can you return them? Green quartz is my favorite. Oh. I completely understand. You are amongst people that understand the joy of watching paint dry. Oh. Yep, you. Exactly. Erase it with Amazon customers. Yeah, I would do that. If the return window is closed, I would definitely bring it up with Amazon customer service. And they're such a big company. You can play the Karen a bit and really push to get some sort of indemnity or refund. Oh, that's really difficult. It sucks. I get so angry. For me here in good old Canada, most art supplies via Amazon are so much pricier than the same thing in stores. So I rarely get anything from Amazon. I think in the US you might be able to find better prices for some things. But yeah, more often than not, smaller brands will not sell on Amazon. So that can be a thing to help you figure out just how legit something would be. Like if you, I'm gonna take an example. Like here in Canada, we have a Canadian company that makes artisan watercolor paints. They're called Stone Ground. And if I were to find a listing for anything Stone Ground on Amazon, I would be automatically suspicious of it because it's weird, you know. It's like if your grandma made jam and you know she makes jam handmade, and then you see a listing for grandma's jam on Amazon. You're like, oh, wait a second, that doesn't make sense, you know. I bought a nice mica pigment from Amazon and it says 2.5 ounces, which is, oh, that's a lot of them. And it arrived, it was 0.25 and I had to put on full battle armor to get, really? The stupid thing is I was saving, oh. You could still possibly escalate it as it is a dupe. Yeah, that's the angle I think that might be a good leverage point with them. Because it's not that it's the real thing and you're having regrets, is that the listing was for a fake. And it's kind of their, I feel like it's their responsibility to make sure that the really sussy stuff doesn't end up on Amazon, you know. I've got a few things from Amazon but didn't realize that dupes were so rampant. Yeah. You kind of have to be really careful about this stuff. For me, what really put the little voice in the back of my mind to always be suspicious of things is when I saw like schminke on AliExpress. And I did, you know, that fry face from Futurama with the squinting eyes, and I was like, wait a second. That's just too weird. But I did get my money back and got to keep the teeny. Yeah, no point in sending that back. I mean, oh, thanks. It has unfortunately turned me off from Roman Schmal, and I get so envious when seeing other paints with potters. Well, that's entirely up to you. But if you want to have safe alternatives to possibly give them a second chance, like get just one color from them, just get Potter's Pink. You can either get them from the Canadian website for Jackson's art, or since you're in Canada, you might be able to go to Guardsman's. Either the website or maybe possibly in person. And they are the Canadian spot that sells Roman Schmal. One of them anyway. And they are reliable. So if you ever feel the willingness to give it a second try, I would definitely just get one color from these places possibly, and to try them and see just how that pans out. Yeah. There was a good documentary in German about how Amazon is at fault for price increase amongst... Yeah. They really do this really nasty thing of buying everyone out of business and then increasing prices. It's so despicable. Have you got a sample of the teeny tiny amount of paint that it made? Oh. Oh. I recently did a bit of a tidying up of my handmade paints, and I reorganized everything and made them more easy for me to reach. And that includes your paints, box of paint, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to paint with these again. The colors are so pretty. Your sparkly green is magical. It's such a beautiful color. Oh, I've seen Daniel Smith on Temu. Well, yeah, don't ever buy something like Daniel Smith on Temu. That's no. Jacksons are really legit. Guardsman's in Canada are also a good, legit local places to get these. I once got keycaps set from AliExpress. Never again. Quality was horrible and it had defects. Also, it didn't even have all the keycaps. Yeah, they don't give a rat's ass. You can find good things on those sites, but you can find so many garbagey items. You really have to be careful. Not necessarily paranoid, but careful. There are things that are probably more foolproof than others. But for example, any of those sites, whether it's Temu, AliExpress, even Amazon, I would not expect to get a metal tin from any of these and the metal tin is not dinged somewhere, you know? It's gonna have a ding somewhere. It's gonna have a bruise of some sort, you know? Like, you can't expect the best from something that costs you $2. It just doesn't work out. Companies selling through Amazon have to pay fee and brands pay to be in the search results for their own name too. Yeah, it is scammy, but also it is very what's the word I'm looking for? It's all on purpose, you know. This seller no longer exists one day after purchase. You have to be careful for that on Etsy, of all places. Like, frick, Etsy. Etsy used to be the place you could sell your handmade stuff. But now there are so many scammy things on Etsy. I've seen it a lot with clothing shops. They're gonna have a bunch of listings for clothes, and then people put in a bunch of orders. Nothing gets sent out. People have paid for it, and then the account disappears. Oh, have a good dinner, Cyan. I hope it's something yummy. Yeah, bon appétit. Always be careful with on. Yeah, absolutely. Etsy is basically Temu 2.0. Really have to be careful. You look at reviews, you look at how long the account has existed, where they ship from. Like, if you see a place that, let's pretend, okay, it's an account that sells M. Graham paints, but they're based in China. That's not, don't, just no. Red flag, red flag. I may give them another try, especially after seeing how lovely your swatches are. Oh, well, I'm glad, because these are really cool. And yeah, it's I'm so angry and sad for you that was your experience with the paints, because it is such a, it's a what's the word I'm looking for again? It's a bit of a bitter experience, you know? It leaves this kind of aftertaste in your mind that, you know, it's not good. It associates something with that feeling, and it just sucks, because in this case, the paints themselves are really nice. Hey, Tamara, hi. Hello. Also check your reviews, because most reviews nowadays are... Yeah, that's true. Rating, reviews. I can't wait for Roman Schmalt to make tubes. Well, I mean, he's working on it. I think it's just a very lengthy process, because it's a lot easier in a way to deal with pans, because they, what can I say? You can account for how they will look when dry because they're dry. Whereas if you try to sell tube, I feel like there's an extra worry that it's not gonna turn out good. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. I send out dot cards with my art members and it'd be so exciting. I agree. You need to find those those Roman schmal colors that are like very, very soft and sticky, and to take a blade to them and to dig out blobs to put on a dot card. That would be the dot card that never dries though. Ah, what a sticky mess. There are legit schminke colors on AliExpress. Schminke confirm they do some color for the Asian market that are not available otherwise. Still, I wouldn't trust it. I would not trust it. Because you can be sure that they know that too, and that someone somewhere will make a dupe of that with the hopes that you're not going to be able to tell the difference. You know? Wax paper, parchment paper. You're going to need the heavy duty stuff here. I also prefer pans. I understand why people want tube paints. And it is convenient in some cases. But I also prefer pans. Because the thing is with tubes is that my tubes often go untouched for a really long while. So the paint settles and gets annoying to refill. And you really have to mess with it. And then it makes a mess. And it's just a lot of maintenance in a way. Whereas pans are pretty, you just gotta let them dry before you start them, but they're kind of good to go. I turn my tubes to pans. Yeah, but if you want to make the dot cards, you're gonna have to need to keep some of them in tubes, right? Sending out Sennelier, oof. Can you imagine receiving them? It's modern art, whee! I only have Sennelier pans. Sennelier pans, in my opinion, are the way to go with Sennelier. If you want a versatile layout of paints that you can either bring with you or just use in the studio. The tube paints are great, but yeah, they are not for the travel palette, seriously. They will stay sticky absolutely forever. Their pans, though, the formula is different and they're extruded, so they're very, very stable. If you have a pan set from Sennelier that they made the pans themselves, it's gonna be fine, like with the regular proper care for travel paints. Meaning that if any paint is super wet from painting with it, you try to let it dry as much as possible. Tubes are so fiddly. You have to get a palette or a pan, label the pan. I mean, I don't really mind that. It's really just the, like, I have most of the Schminke super granulating colors in tubes, and I'm really not looking forward to having to deal with that. They're gonna be so separated, guys. What we need is, you know how people have little wine fridges or whatever? I kind of need something similar, but on a much smaller, like, things in there. And they're tiny rollers. And you can put all your tube paints. It doesn't have to be refrigerated. It just has to be tiny rollers. And you put all your tubes horizontally in there, and they slowly rotate, like, over a month or something. But like that with tube, I can put them in multiple palettes, make my own mixes and share them. Yeah. Idillo, hi. Hello, hello. Oh, you're lucky it dried though, Sketches and Scrub. You can touch the pans with nothing coming off. Yeah, that's the beauty of the Sennelier pans, but you cannot do that with the tube Sennelier. It is sticky. I had this similar issue with my M. Graham paints. They're of Tallow Turquoise, the mix of PG7 and PB15 Callan 3. Two things. The most unbelievably stainy color ever. I know these two tend to be stainy. I know you're probably going to say, oh, I've dealt with these. They were stainy. No, 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 no. The M. Graham one, I don't know how they managed to do it, but it's absurdly next level in terms of staining. And it stays sticky. So you just look at it. You open your palette, and then for some reason, it's on your fingers, it's on your shirt, it's on your painting, it's everywhere. And you might like remove the paint, but it's gonna leave a stain regardless of what it touches. I'm pretty sure it would stain ceramic if it could. Like it's unbelievably stainy. I've never seen a color like that. I have some Sennelier dots from tubes. They're sticky but don't run. Well, if they're small enough, they're gonna stay put. But yeah, they stay really sticky. I had no choice. They had to dry. Needed to send them out as happy mail. It's humid-ish here, but Mission Gold are those paints for me. You're in a palette and they're still sticky. Yeah. M. Graham paints never dry in the pan ever. Yeah. And in Maston they are sticky and shiny. I think, well, does it depend on the color? They're nice paints, but also do the shiny Maston thing. That's so weird. M. Harding ran. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. M. Harding is one of those brands that is particularly prohibitive to try here. It's either not available or just very, very expensive. My path is Belladonna, I never go. But I'll keep that in mind. Like, that's something that would probably dissuade me from buying a tube. I don't abide mess all that much. It depends on the mess, but staining mess, that's why I don't do pastels. Like chalk pastel, oil pastel are not great either, because if you're not careful, you're gonna have those little tidbits of greasy pigment everywhere. I got a 24 set and added a few, but also have the rose gold huge pan palette from Mission Gold. Ooh, they all have a shiny. Oh, that's peculiar. Huh. I've mostly painted with Mijello in tube, and I've really never noticed a shiny Maston. It looked dry, but be careful. Yeah, no. They're expensive here too. I don't want to imagine like worldwide. I still can't get over Winsor Newton paint prices on Jackson's in Germany. I mean, don't look at them in North America. Yeah. Winsor Newton, in my opinion, are okay. Not my go-to, other than their gouache. I've rambled long and large about this, but Winsor Newton, I feel like they have some really gorgeous, unique colors within their range, but you kind of have to know about them, because they're not going to be the brand that puts them forward. It's like they are allergic to making, you know, actually interesting things with their paints. The rose gold palette isn't... Oh yeah, I think I had that one. They're beautiful, and they have a magenta in there. And even the gouache, not for the cost. Oh, no. Which is really insulting, because mind you, it's designer gouache. It always was meant to be the quote-unquote inexpensive matte paint for illustration for advertising. Hey, Paulo! What's up? What's up? Their price started at... Ooh, that's weird. That's a lot of money. Oh, shit. I'm very clumsy, so sticky paints for me would go everywhere. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm a standard level of clumsy, not clumsy. And seriously, that freaking turquoise color was nightmarish. It's beautiful, but it's a disaster, you know, just waiting to happen. Sorry, give me a second, eating dessert. Oh, dude, what is it? What is it? I'm hungry. The brand never intrigued me, so I don't care. It just surprised me. Yeah, it is kind of surprising. It is a surprising thing in general. Like, I don't think I've ever brought someone into the watercolor aisle at the art supply store and done the thing of, you know, you grab a any kind of cobalt or cadmium tube that you know they're going to be the expensive ones, and you grab the 5 ml and you show it to your friend who might not know about this stuff, and you go like, hey, how do you think this costs? And it's always really funny to see their reaction, because it's a teeny tiny tube, and they're like, $3. Try 25. Sorry, what? Yep. And then you explain, you're like, okay, well, I went for the more expensive one just for the sake of the bit, but still, the least expensive one is still gonna put me back $12, so... Apple and walnut strudel. Oh, that sounds delicious. I did that with a friend. It's always a laugh, isn't it? They thought I was joking about the prices. Oh my gosh. If I pick something up at the art store, Abby assumes it's gonna... Well, I mean, did he assume that the first time? Like, I would expect that by now. That's fairly well known. But yeah, the first time you cannot expect. You show someone a brush, like a Kolinsky brush. Usually you'll have to show them in the display because they're not going to be accessible to grimy hands. But you're like, hey, check out this brush. What do you think this costs? $20? Try 300. What? We had a laugh recently because we were looking at brush prices, and like the largest, generally the largest natural hair brushes, like the size 18 brushes, are like over $1,000. I'm always like, what the... Who buys that? Like $1,000 for a brush. Oh man, and if someone tells me to get that for acrylic, I'm gonna destroy them. I'm gonna kick their butt so hard. Oh, don't you dare put acrylic on a $1,000 brush made from natural hair. Dude. No. He bought my first set of pigments, the molar and slab, and I think he was floored at how much the pigments... Yeah. Well, it depends on the pigments you get. Some of them are quite affordable. 2 giant bags of ultramarine and lemon ochre, like $5. And a teeny tiny little jar of lapis and... Sorry. Pretty much. Nope. Oh my gosh. You went to the 2 extremes of it, didn't you? Oh, this is so funny. Hubiscus stuff is just the way... Yeah, it is, but it's painful. It's so painful. Because it's like, oh, okay, so I understand that hobbies and all that, but who's this for? Who can have this as a hobby and then justify paying $1,000 for a brush? Not me, that's who. And of course, I understand that there are collectors and there are people that are rich out there, but it's just this... It's always a shock to the system, you know? You don't go in expecting that kind of price tag on things. Yeah, over $1,000 for a size 18 Kolinsky brush. Natural hair, a lot of it, but still, $1,000. Holy moly. My cat jumped when you laugh. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry, kitty. I didn't mean to startle you. For 1K, the brush had better be vintage up and paint on something. Seriously. But no, it's just a size 18 Kolinsky. Size 18. I know it's big, but... Whew. Wow, my brushes, look at my swatches. Blech. I have to paint upside down because otherwise you won't be able to see, but that kind of messes up with my perception of what I'm doing. Is Otto still around? Because we haven't asked the Otto question this week. I spent £80 on a set of 0 to 12 silver black velvets. Ooh. And I know that I love them and still had to talk myself into pushing the buy button. Yeah, and you're getting what? 13 brushes with that? Oh, they might not have one of each size. I don't know how they roll. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So that's either 7 or... It's probably like, what, 7 brushes? So that's less than... That's a bit over, sorry, £10 per brush. More or less. I feel like it kind of helps to put it in context like that when something's expensive. But still. Oof. Ooh. I think the silver black velvets are that expensive because they're part synthetic fiber but also part natural fibers. 1K for a single brush artist are not that rich. Yeah, that's what I have this exact same thought because I'm like, yikes. But it's probably the same people who bought the really fancy, weird schminke rotating palette thingamajig. Real sable brushes wear out super fast in comparison to synthetic, so it's not... Yeah, you really have to be careful. Even then. Oh, I think Otto might be away from keyboard. Or just gone. My most expensive brush... Oh, 70 euros. What kind of brush is it? I have 2 of the Winsor Newton synthetic sable brushes and I hate them. They're so smooshy. Really? Synthetic sable? Oh, that's peculiar. Usually synthetic sable is kind of springy. A bit too springy compared to the real thing. But 2 of those was more than... What? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. 2 synthetic sables from Winsor and Newton were more expensive than the silver black velvet set? What? Oh my gosh, how high on their own farts are they? What the... I can't... No. No. Oh, that's unbelievable. What size are they? How are they synthetic if they're that price? What? I'm losing my mind here. I'm losing it. Yeah, they have to be huge, no? I bought some of those, but smaller sizes, and they weren't that expensive. Yeah, Series 7 is going to be very pricey, of course. For a 12... What? Synthetic ones. What are they made of? Like unicorn hair or something? What? I don't understand. I really don't get it. What? That makes no sense. Why would they be that expensive? What's so fancy about them? I need this 3614. Unicorn hair isn't synthetic. It also doesn't exist, so... If we had any, it would have to be synthetic. My brain is broken. Yeah, synthetic should never be that expensive. What fiber requires that kind of manufacturing that would justify the price point of these. These mixes are really nice. I really like them. I kind of feel like my yellow is perhaps a bit odd in that selection. But I mean, it works because with 3 colors, of course it's going to work. But if I had to perhaps tweak something up, I might try the same pink and blue, but with a different yellow, just to see what kind of results I get. The only issue with this Triad is that Potter's Pink is such a weak color that you kind of end up going through a lot of it doing swatches like this. Oh, fair point, Lena. Fair point. I remember that specific unicorn as well. That is weird sensitive. Yeah. I understand that some of them will be pricier than others because of general quality of fiber and all that, but to have them be this expensive is so odd. And in contrast to that, and tying up to what we said earlier, like, then you log on to Amazon and you see like real sable brushes for a whole set for like $20. It's like, yeah, something's gotta give. If you find a full brush set that is genuine Kolinsky-ish or genuine natural hair, and it's $20, something's not right. There's gotta be something in there that's not properly done or labeled. The Winsor Newton Real Sable 12 is 178 pounds and 36 something. What do you call these? Pennies? Pence? Cents? So they're really proud of the synthetic. Yeah, I mean, proud. They're about as proud of their synthetic fiber as they're proud of their cadmium-free colors that they won't disclose the pigment info. I got an 8 and a 4. Ooh. I mean, those are great sizes, but oh my god, the prices for these. Ugh. Pence. Why? Okay, I understand that freedom units are stupid, but that's also stupid. Metric system for the win. At least it makes sense. Recently been using a Star brand brush and the size 12 is €3. I'm using like the cheapest Royal. It's Royal Crafter's Choice grip. Because I'm like, for swatches, you don't want to mess up your quote unquote good brushes for that. which is apparently the plural of penny here. So, set a 2p coin. Oh, wow, really? I swear sometimes we pay just for the name. Seriously. Or the weird hype they made up for something. Like the cadmium-free cadmium colors are... Like, is anyone... I never hear anyone mention these. Like, they exist? Yeah. But I've never really stumbled upon anyone being like... going to battle for these. Like, most people are just like, they are expensive and... Well, I don't know what pigments are in it, so I'm not gonna get it. And I'm like, fair. Absolutely fair. I feel like the cat-free are a marketing game. Charging more for cheaper pigment. Well, I mean, even if they are like expensive-ish pigments, just tell us what it is. Who cares? I mean, my gouache brushes are marked as made for school kids. I was in my late 30s before I realized that tuppence, a bag is 2 pence. Oh my gosh, what? I thought the dried bread was called tuppence. I mean, I would have too. Absolutely. Sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Lena took me out for a second. It's because everyone is so obsessed about toxicity, but watercolors are safe if you don't eat them. Pretty much. Forbidden candy, don't eat it. So what she was selling, not advertising them. I've seen someone being afraid to touch a dry pan with cadmium paints because it's so toxic. Well, I mean, it's... Don't eat it, don't snort it, you'll be fine. Exactly. Unless you're, like, dramatically allergic to cadmium on a skin contact level, you know? That I can understand being extra cautious. But for everything else, that's definitely not something that... Like, it's hard enough to come up with drawings, ideas and all that. I'm not gonna like make it even harder on me by focusing on all the quote-unquote issues. I'm fine as long as like no one goes angry vegan mode on anyone else, you know. Making cobalt paint, I look like it's a zombie apocalypse. Yeah, that's the whole thing. When they are a powder, there's a lot more chance that you'll get them in your respiratory system. But once it's paint and it's bound by the binder, eh. It's like the Bath and Body products. They smell like fruit, but you know not to eat it. You know, I wouldn't put that at 100% between you and me. You know, like if someone told me they know someone that ate soap because it tasted good, I would believe it. Isn't that what they were doing with the crumble cookie deodorant soap? Something? Like people ate Tide Pods, right? So I mean, all bets are off. If there is one thing that I look at and that I don't go, I'm gonna eat it, it's laundry detergent. I have on gloves, mask, and cats are barred. Yeah, same. That's what I would do too. When I would do any paint, not even the toxic one, just any of them. Everyone out of the room, door closed, mask on, goggles, gloves, and always a paranoid thought about the powder ending up on things, so you always wash everything. It's like flour is more dangerous than bread too. What, you don't sniff flour? No, like good raw flour, like the rawest flour that you can find. All my years in med school, all the lectures and zero on watercolors. I wonder why. I just want people to enjoy their paints fear-free. I agree. I'm also not recommending eating. Yeah, don't do that. Do not eat stuff that is not food. And even then, make sure you follow the right procedure for preparing the food, you know. What, they don't teach you the huge risk of watercolors? It's worse than knives, I've heard. I mean, palette knives are dangerous. I would worry about those. I've come across too many threads about people freaking out about pigment in already made paint, and even once they are made and did say, yeah, don't drink your paint water. That's, and I mean, don't do it. Don't, absolutely don't. But the concentration of pigment in regular paint water, not water that you mold paint and you rinse out your tools in, not, you know, water that has an excessive amount of paint in it, just standard paint water. Let's say you're distracted and you take a sip of it, you're gonna be fine. Like, it's not very concentrated. It's still not that risky, just gross. Yeah, I mean, flour is more explosive. That's true. The tight pods were some stupid. Yeah, but still, I mean, being from the USA, I can testify to slightly more than half adults are idiots. Oh. No one tells you the more you use palette knives. Seriously, that should come with a freaking palette knife. The ones that I would use for molding paints, oh, I struggle to elaborate because I cut myself relatively really bad on one, and I was really not expecting that to happen. But I mean, of course, like, it makes sense, but you just don't really expect it, you know. But I mean, dumb people will be dumb. If someone eats what they're not supposed to eat, it's not an item that's unsafe. Oh, sorry. I'm still having like, is it shivers? Do you call it shivers in English? But like the trauma from cutting myself on the freaking sharpened palette knife when I did not expect it. It's still very vivid. I remember I had to call Mr. E. He was on his way back from work. And I was like, do you think you can stop by the drugstore? We need gauze. And he was like, why do we need gauze? I was like, well, I cut myself. It's not bad that it would require stitches, but it's still bad enough that none of the band-aids we have are doing a good job. And I need something that will not stick to the cut. So can you grab a box of gauze when you when you walk home? And he was like, oh, okay, will do. Be right there. Oh my gosh. I've never sharpened mine. Just use them for paint making and the barber. Exactly. That's 10 out of 10 way of putting this. They get so insanely sharp. Oh, like you don't expect it. But oh my gosh, they get sharp. And I did the really stupid thing of being like, oh, I need to rinse the side of it. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. No. Bad idea. Terrible idea. No, it did leave a scar. Well, if it did leave a scar, it's invisible amongst all the other weird scrapes and bruises and marks on my fingers. I don't tend to have a lot of scars on my hands, fortunately, because they're just so destroyed all the time that if there are any scars, they blend in perfectly with everything else. But, oh, that's when I realized that, yeah, molding paints and working with a palette knife on a molding slab makes them really, really sharp. Really, really sharp. Yeah. Could have been, but yeah. I think you really have to hurt yourself to a somewhat extreme degree on your hands to end up with a permanent scar. I don't know, do you guys have scars on your hands? I don't really have. I'm not someone who heals fast. So I tend to have marks for a long time, but eventually they just go away. And I don't really have any scars on my hands. Butterscotch paint making. Yeah, but it wouldn't be it would be the equivalent of like shooting myself in the foot while cleaning a gun, you know, the kind of like, oh, self-inflicted stupid injury that you do it and then you go, oh, that was dumb. Oh, I'm over. These have been so fun that I've been sort of going over every weekend. I'm just trying to finish, or finished at least the sort of chromatic mixing order that I'm doing when I do these. And then for the part about mixing just whatever together, I'm going to come back to it. But I just want to finish this part. I'll go full circle back to close to my yellow. When I'm gonna be done with this book, I'm probably gonna do a tour of it or do a PDF of some sort, something, share it on Patreon. I'm not quite sure yet, but I will definitely share the swatches that's in this book. I don't know, I have random scars on my hands. One from bread baking. Oh, from a burn. Oof. One from picking a flower? What kind of flower was that? The battle flower? What? It's totally heroic. Get scars from insect bite. That one. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, burns are painful. And you can't really do much about it, you know. Okay, so just quickly before I end the stream, I want to show you guys what I've been doing with these little books. I wasn't quite sure what to do with these. Like, the paper in them is okay, but it's not amazing. So I decided to turn them into books where I would swatch two colors and do mixes and kind of test out like effects with a lot of water and all that. So I've been doing that, and I'm probably going to use the whole little book for that. And I basically just reuse the same kind of layout for everything. I label the colors, pigment, brand, like all the info I have on hand, and then I do a bunch of mixes. I don't expect all of them to be good, but yeah, it's been really interesting and a good way to learn more about how some paints behave and some other mix and the kind of stuff that can happen. And perhaps the only issue with this kind of tests in this book is that, you know, it's not the best paper. So it's probably not the most reliable example of how a wash would look on paper, you know. Like this, this gradient one was so hard to do, and it kind of looks like butt. But yeah, so I'm just, you know, playing with mixes like granulating colors and smooth colors, granulating colors together, all kind of stuff. So that's also something I've been doing. The flower cut into my hand and it bled a lot. Wow, whoa. What a mean flower. Scars go when time, surgical scars. Yeah, definitely. Those go so much deeper. Oh my god, box of paint. You're gonna come out of there covered in scratches from a rose bush or something. Bush? Yeah. A vampire rose. I've had it to... Oh. The scar's not gone away for years. Yeah, but I mean, it must have gone so much deeper. Like, that's not just a surface scratch. I wouldn't expect those to really disappear after time. Those are legit battle scars. Sweden bitter herbs could help with scars. Oh, really? Huh. It's like putting a full hand on a cactus. Like, what do you think is gonna happen? All right, well, I think I'm gonna end this here, unless you guys have some last minute questions or something. Next week, there's a chance there won't be a stream next week, but technically the next stream that happens should be about the last triad, the number 4, I think. And after that, well, I'll see what kind of content, but yeah, I'll keep you guys posted in the community posts or on Discord or something like that. If you want to join up on the Discord, the link is in the description. It's completely free to join up. And we talk a lot about paints, and we share paint news and all kinds of stuff, and pet pictures too. Really important, the pet pictures. And yeah, and you can come over and ask questions and all that. So it's a fun place. And again, thank you so much, guys, for being here today. I really appreciate it. It's always a lot of fun. And I hope you had a great time too. And we will see each other in the next stream. And until then, I hope you have a great time and have fun painting. And yeah, take care. See you all in the next one. Bye bye.